Thank you very much.
I also just noticed we have this
Monochrome.
thing going on. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, well, good and evil. Yeah.
Exactly.
I just want to start off with what kind of brought you to this project? Like thinking, reading the script. Kind of tell us what really drew you to this story.
So my favorite film is Black Swan, and if you've guys seen that, when I read the script, it immediately reminded me of that, in the sense where reality blurs lines with what's not real. We constantly think, is this happening? Is he losing his mind? Is he cursed? Is he imagining things? I bawled my eyes out reading the script, so I desperately wanted the part, and I was lucky enough to get it. Just the script, the story, representation, and all the little plot twists of the script drew me into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us about what it was like filming it on location. Tell us about this amazing cast you had to work with.
That was beyond what I could have expected. It took us a long time to find the guy who played Hisham, and then we ended up filming in Lebanon, most of it. Although the story is set in Egypt, we filmed some of it in Egypt, but most of it was shot in Lebanon during the time when they had a power crisis. We didn't have power 12 hours a day. There was no gas, so we had a lot of struggles to deal with, which, in my opinion, helped the performance and helped everybody get into that challenging mindset and the darkness of the story. But working with the beautiful cast in Lebanon and Egypt, everybody was so talented, gifted, and loving, and we all became a family. And I wish they could be here with us today. So I'm here representing everybody on their behalf.
Aside from just traveling out there to shoot too, I want to give mad props to like the set designer too. I bet like just like the lighting and just like all the things on the walls and just everything seemed so considered. So like as an actor coming to set, I imagine it was probably pretty easy to then kind of sink into the tone and sink into the scene.
Absolutely, and I live in LA, but I'm originally from Morocco, so having gone back to close enough the region. It just threw me back into childhood things, and then having the wonderful art director Cynthia Boutros, she's Lebanese, and she just made everything look so incredible. Every time walking into the set, it was just real. It didn't feel like I was pretending, or in a studio in LA pretending I'm in Alexandria. I was actually there, so it just that so many out of body experiences filming it there, because it's just looking around, you just feel like you're really, it's really happening, and that's definitely thanks to the cinematographer, Leo Perman. He's from the US, and Cynthia, the art director from Lebanon, definitely.
And then watching it now on screen with this like an amazing sound, it kind of just ties everything together, kind of like really pulls in a lot of horror elements for me. So just if you wouldn't mind talking more to just like the genre and why you wanted to work in this genre for this project.
I love when drama is tied in, or psychothrillers are tied in with horror, because it gives another aspect of the paranoia and what the characters are experiencing internally, and we get to see it externally. So that, and horror is one of my favorite genres. Even if it's a shitty horror, we are entertained. It's a guarantee. So I love everything about this film, but mainly the drama and the forbidden love story and the family tragedy and the somewhat happy ending, which I'm glad happened after all that.
I am too. I think like I mean when I saw those like charred lights in the fire, I was like, no. So I was very happy that it was able to wrap up the way it did. I also want to point out this time, this is how we are able to vote for this film right behind us now. So if you want to take advantage of that, please go for it. Yeah, no pressure. One thing when I was putting this series together, a through line in all of the features this year is kind of this theme of kind of returning home. And kind of dealing with like the kind of buried shame that has come with that, and then how that's unearthed once you get there. And I think in this film, a way that I'm able to kind of identify that is kind of with this like language barrier. So like your partner in the film is kind of acting as a translator, And kind of going back to this idea of like, what is real? Is the curse real? Are these visions real? Is all this real? I'm also even like thinking like, are his translations real? Like is there like some sort of like other thing going on here? So I'm just interested, like the tension behind like that kind of like, because us as the viewers, we don't get the subtitles to see and to know what they're actually saying. So we kind of just have to rely on Hashim's kind of translations. So yeah, was that something on set that you were kind of keeping in mind, or?
Yeah, when I first read it, I suggested, hey, there should be subtitles. And then the director, who also wrote it, Marwan Mokhbel, he's Egyptian, but lived in LA for a long time. He did that on purpose because he wanted the audience to experience what Mo, my character, was experiencing by not understanding, because he doesn't speak Arabic, and that outlandish experience would then be understood by the audience. And then adding to that the paranoia element that Mo is then experiencing with everybody. Like you said, is Hisham being truthful? And there's scenes where we start to believe that Hisham actually trying to harm him as well. So all of those add to the isolation, the paranoia, the fear, the anxiety. Yeah.
And did you see yourself at all in this role, or was it new for you to take a bit of work, kind of embodying Mo?
What it took, I had all the breakthroughs I needed to have in this film. It was the hardest thing, personally and professionally, but the best thing that could have happened for me. I think it just broke down all the walls that I had built, the simulation that I had built, safety that I had built. I think as a man in society, and then also as a gay man in this world, allowing myself to be this vulnerable and allowing myself to be this open again, that it took quite a bit of work, and I'm grateful for the experience, absolutely. And what I love about it most is the universal aspect. There's one very smart line in the film that I didn't really get until I saw the film the fourth time. And it's when friends are talking about, how homosexuality is a sin, and he points out, hey, you're Christian, and it's a sin. He says, yeah, absolutely. And then we have this Muslim, and he's saying it's a sin. So it really is an experience that everybody can relate to,
Yeah, it's not easy being an outsider for sure.
Right.
But before I open it up to the audience for a couple of questions, I just wanted to ask if there was anything else you wanted to be sure people took away from this project after tonight, or
that. I don't know people's backgrounds. A lot of people grew up around the church, different denominations, and we've had people who came up to us and completely relate with that indoctrination and that inability for us to believe in God, or that we automatically disenfranchised from faith, which a beautiful mother character in the end tells Mo that we should all choose to believe whatever we want to believe in. Don't let anybody define it for us. Yeah, whether we want to believe or not believe. But that's what I love about it.
Awesome. Yeah. We do have time for a few questions, but I would love for them to be questions and not just observations or statements or feelings, something that has a nice, solid question mark at the end of it. Anyone have anything for us? I'll go with the black baseball hat here. What were some of the unique challenges filming this in a Muslim country?
We chose to film it in Lebanon because it's more progressive than having gone to Egypt, which has undergone a bit more of a conservative direction over the past few decades, even though it used to be the most progressive. We didn't have any challenges in that regard in Lebanon, but we're definitely mindful of the trajectory it is taking. It is moving also a bit more conservatively, kind of like our fears here with the whole Trump leaning politics. And having said that, they choose not to release it there. So we were just discreet with certain scenes. If you probably noticed, one was a creative choice, one was also a safety choice with there's no kisses, actual kisses. So we avoided those things and we refrained from certain things. But other than that, it was wonderful. The gay scene in Lebanon is more popping than in West Hollywood, LA. The community is just wonderful. So yeah, Beirut.
All right, maybe that's my next trip. All right, right up here.
Absolutely.
Are honor killings still going on? I hear less and less about them. I wonder if they're being
they're not as common as they used to be?
Yeah, definitely not as common as they used to be. It's similar to what we see in certain southern states here, like Alabama or Utah, with certain paranoia and occultism or honor killings or conversion camps, what they're called here, I believe. So that's as close as it is. There's very few cases of that where it happens with certain families and certain villages and right-wing extremism.
We have time for one more, if anyone's got one. I'll go over here.
I love the film.
Thank
Thank you so much.
you.
And I wanted to know, like, how was it trying to connect to your character as Mo with all the religious trauma and the different aspects that he was dealing with? Did you find that hard to try and like balance, or did you think you did it perfectly?
It was tough. I grew up with a non-religious mom. She's right here in the audience, beautiful lady. But I ended up growing up in Germany, and I ended up going through a lot of racism there. So that was an aspect that I used as a parallel for me, that not being accepted. So I was able to tap into that as my experience with religion. And I have some relatives that are extremely religious, and then the rest was just allowing myself to see it and feel it through Mo's experience, and it's a frightening experience. But Mo was not religious, so that was easier for me then to draw back to me. Yeah.
So what can we expect from you in the future? What future projects do you have coming up?
Well, I have one film. It's a Blumhouse Netflix production called Absolute Dominion. It's coming to theaters soon. It's not a horror movie. It's a political action thriller, martial arts action thriller set in 2084 in theaters.
Did you learn martial arts for it?
Oh my God, I played the #1 MMA fighter in the world, and I'm not the #1 MMA fighter in the world, so I was injured for 2 months every single day, and another 2 months after that. This Thai lady in Vegas massaged me every other day and fixed me so I could walk. But I don't know, I made it happen. It looked good.
Cool, we can't wait for that. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, Junes, again, and thank you.
Thank you.
For coming out.
We've still got lots of Frameline screenings coming up.